Yes, that's how Colo-Colo and Red Star Belgrade, the kingpins of South America and Europe, qualified for today's showdown between football's two strongest continents and the World Club Championship. Welcome again to the World Game and another SBS Live Soccer Special, the Toyota Cup live from Tokyo in a few minutes. An exciting time for both clubs, neither of which had won its continental title before, and two big live telecasts in 2 days here on SBS. Tomorrow morning at 4:45 Eastern Summer Time, half an hour earlier in Adelaide and 2 hours earlier in Perth, live from Madison Square Garden in New York, the qualifying draw for the 1994 World Cup. That's when we and all other of the 142 nations that entered will find out what their task is to get to the USA in 1994. National coach Eddie Thompson will join us in the studio for that one, and if that's a bit too early for you, there will be a replay of the draw ceremony at 9:30 tomorrow evening, half an hour earlier in Adelaide. But before then, today's Toyota Cup showdown, and joining us here in our Sydney studios today, former national coach Rale Rasic, ASF staff and Melita Eagles coach Raul Blanco, and former Socceroo skipper Johnny Warren. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Yes.
Great to see you. Good that you could make it, Raul. Good draw yesterday. A couple of goals for Melita.
Yes, unusual, but it was good to
Celebrating
see.
all night, were we? Fantastic.
Yeah.
John, Colo-Colo is a team that you've seen. You were lucky enough, fortunate enough to see just a few months ago, and you've seen all these Toyota Cup finals with us down the years. How are they shaping up against the Europeans today?
Well, they're making all sorts of excuses, which is not unusual for a Yugoslav coach, if I may say, to Rale, before the game. But they are the classical South American side, but added to it now they have the European tactics, if you like, which is not unusual with a coach like Jugović and a former president like Dragicevic, who influenced so much to develop Colo-Colo. They're the club of the people. They are the most popular club in Chile. And when you add those two ingredients, the skill of South America and the tactics of Europe, you have a potent force. And they are a very potent force, attacking side. I question, however, the team that we got on the wire this morning, because it names 5 forwards, and I'll wait and see whether that's correct,
okay,
because
well,
that does appear to be a little bit optimistic that they're going to play with so many attackers.
We'll have a look at that in a moment, John. Rale, the big change, of course, in Red Star Belgrade, apart from the fact that they lost Prosinecki by now, or since the European Cup final, is that they have a new coach, and that might be good news for, I think, all of us. So tell us about Vladimir Popovic, their new coach. How is he going to approach this game?
I don't think so that in Red Star makeup that any coach really makes so much difference. Probably Petrovic, because he doesn't really...
Well, he did.
But he didn't. He doesn't come from Red Star school. He's only one in out of last 13 coaches who coached Red Star that he was outside of Red Star ranks. So I really don't think so that would make so much difference between the two. Popovic is from early days from Red Star, and played with Red Star, played for a national team. He would know far more than Petrovic would know about Red Star makeup.
Raul, Colo-Colo did very well against Olimpia in the final of the Libertadores. They did very well in the Libertadores generally, but this is a European side, a different proposition altogether.
Yes, it is, but I was very impressed with Chilean football. We were with John there about only a year ago. I think they're improving out of sight. I think Jugović did a wonderful job with them, and I'm convinced that you're going to see a quite different Colo-Colo. It's a bit of mixture between the South American quality technique and a lot of European on them. It means I predict a great match. It's going to be definitely a good match.
Okay, well, let's have a look at the team lineups that were announced this morning, and Johnny Warren has cautioned us already about the fact that these may not be accurate because they do look a bit curious. But for Colo-Colo, they've named Moron in goal, then Garrido, Margas, Ramirez, Vilches, Pizarro, Bartichotto, Mendoza, Yanes, Martinez and Dabrowski, which means that Yanes is playing according to that, although it looks like Hugo Rubio, who's one of their stars, will be out of the side, but we shall wait and see what happens there. The Red Star lineup that we've heard reported this morning was Milojevic in goal, then Vasiljevic, Belodedic, Najdoski, Radinovic, Mihajlovic, Jugović, Ratkovic, Vlado Stosic, whom we remember well from his days in the National League with Footscray, Savicevic and Panchev. Raul, Rale, Savicevic and Panchev are big enough names, and what the big problem that I had with Petrovic's tactics in Bari in May was the fact that you've got talented players like Savicevic and Panchev, real world beaters who were totally wasted with those sort of tactics.
I suppose, as I said, probably they took so much notice of Olympic, probably because they were so really famous in Europe and they were sort of everybody's favorites. And I think the Petrovic opted for possible right tactics. Why I'm saying just right tactics is simple reason. You can never ever remember who was second. And if I ask anybody of the panel who played in the final last year, I think we will have difficulties in thinking. So there is no room for second. It's one match, and what kind of match? I think at this point of time it's of secondary importance.
Spoken like a coach. Yeah. Raul, what about Prosinecki? You've admired him a lot, and I know you remember him from the World Youth Championships in Chile. He's gone, and his influence is gone from the team.
Yes, very much. I think he's possibly one of the best youth players I see for a long, long time. One of the most important players today in Europe. I think he's a genius, really. But Red Star have a lot of good players. I saw them just now, recently in Italy, and I was very impressed. But obviously that was a friendly game and they play with a much more positive attitude. I think the key here is if they are going to take that positive attitude, having so many good players and so wonderful football, Yugoslav football is, if they are going to adopt this negative tactics they adopted in the past.
Raul, I made the point this morning in a newspaper column that the determination of Chile, the pride of Chile, and to erase the memory of Roberto Rojas may have something to do with the outcome of this match. I mean, do you see that the Chileans might see this as a psychological boost, that this is their rare opportunity to win a world championship, and so they'll be pretty well fired up for this one?
I think so. I think that Chilean football suffered quite a bit after that ugly incident in Maracanã Stadium, and rightly or wrongly they've been penalized and they've been in a very bad position for quite a long time, and I think they deserve to be recognized as a top nation in South America. As I said, they are a very, very good soccer nation, a very proud nation, and I'm sure that a good victory today will give them that pride and that happiness they deserve, because they've been really put down quite a bit for a long time. It was just one incident which a player did, and I think the nation has been penalized somehow.
Raul, we questioned that lineup which had sort of Yanez, Batichotto, Dabrowski, Mendoza, Martinez. You spoke to Chile this morning, you had some different information.
Yes, I did. I spoke to a very good friend of mine, Ricky Ormazábal, the ex-soccer player here, and I rang him up to find out exactly what was happening and what was the latest there. He never gave me that information, but obviously Jugović knows more than Ricky Ormazábal. I mean, we have to wait and see who's going to take the park. But he said to me that they're playing with twin stoppers and a sweeper and a formation of 4 midfield players and 3 forwards. Is he going to do it today?
So that's the European method that he was referring to, that Jugović was referring to when he said that he's not going to play at the traditional South American way.
Well,
stoppers and
yes, in Chile everybody is saying that Jugović have a big influence on the transformation of Chilean football too, because he came with obviously European ideas, and the Colo-Colo is now a team which many other clubs try to follow the way they play, the way they train. They're training much, much harder. Chilean football in the past used to be possible a bit on the slow side, no longer. I think we saw it together. It was a great, great difference. I think Chilean football is improving all the time. And
well, it's good, but I always worry, John, about and Rale about when South Americans try to play the Europeans at their own game. I mean, isn't that a dangerous thing?
Well, I think we saw it last year, didn't we, with Olympia, who we fancied, having seen them there. They were a very offensive side too, but they really got caught out against Milan. But this trend of Olympia winning the Libertadores and then now Colo-Colo with that style of play, there seems to be a fair amount of success with it. But to rally, if I may, Les, on the effect of what's happening in Yugoslavia on the team, and also what there have been about 5 changes, rally, from the team that won the European Championship. What will the twin effect of those be on Red Star today?
I suppose probably internal problems in the country would have effect on the players. That's sort of logical. But then again, as matches such as in Vienna proved bitterness and proved that they were just playing at their best. Probably they played best international game for many years, not long ago. Secondly, Red Star players Panchev, Savicevic, Jugović, who is not mentioned very much, who is on a par or better than Prosinecki at the moment in Yugoslav football. The Radinović, who did not play in the European Cup final. They are fine footballers. And Red Star, just for discussion that we had previously, when you question Red Star negative tactics, so Red Star is a nursery of modern football throughout the world, not only Europe, not only through Yugoslavia. Red Star is known for their flair, and coaches who sign contracts with Red Star must accept the type of football that Red Star and nursery is breeding over past 45 years, which means flair, technical, tactical, and the footballers who come out of Red Star, such as Djajic, Šekularac, Mitic, they are world-known footballers. It's a really famous club, and that trademark on negative football, that tag can go to any club in Yugoslavia possible, not to Red Star.
Okay, now before I put you guys in the spot and ask you for your tips, Raul, tell me, who are the key players? I mean, where is the key to the outcome of this match? Who versus who, for example? Where will it be decided, do you think?
Well, I will say that the key is for the Chilean team, for Colo-Colo, to play as they do play. I think in this type of finals, as I said before, I think Rale didn't like it very much, but I think that if you are not going to play the game as you play normally through the year, and Colo-Colo is a very attacking side in first division in Chile, if they are going to change the tactics a lot and they try to get too concerned about what Red Star is going to be, I think this is what sometimes can be a letdown. But I feel myself, if they are positive, if they're going to play as they play always, I really fancy them very strongly.
You fancy Colo-Colo?
I do.
Okay, John?
I'll agree with Raul. This is the South American end of the table today.
Yes, I think Raul, you'll be outnumbered here. Go on.
I think just no need to
surprise us. What's your tip?
I favour Red Star all the way.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm going to go for Colo-Colo. Basically, I mean, the statistics are there, and I like the fact that Colo-Colo are there inspired by a rare opportunity to win. But Red Star have no real experience, well, no experience that I know of against South American opposition. And really, we have had, to further caution you, we've had Milan doing it in splendid style in the last 2 seasons, last 2 years. But they are a very special team, I think you'll agree. And then Porto in the snow, and that was it for European success since Juventus. Jerry Harrison at the Olympic Stadium in Tokyo, and certainly drama enough already in that first half. What a sensational ending with the sending off of Savicevic, the new Maradona, they called him only recently in Europe. Before we go on, I'd just like to send a cheerio call for all our friends from the Colo-Colo club here in Sydney, out at Cabramatta, Julio Sanhuesa and his 600 friends out there enjoying the game. I hope you're enjoying it. Also, members of the Granville Chili Club in the western suburbs of Sydney as well. Good luck to you in the second half. And we'll talk about the events of the first half after this short break. And welcome back to the 1991 Toyota Cup final, the Intercontinental Challenge between the European champions and the South American champions. The score at the break is 1-0 to Red Star Belgrade. Vladimir Jugović, the scorer in the 20th minute, but a real sensation at the end of the first half with the sending off of Dejan Savicevic. John, impressions of the first half. We didn't quite get to see what the reason was for Savicevic's dismissal, but it's certainly going to change things for the second half.
Well, it's ironic the half finished on that note, Les, isn't it? Because it was a very open, very clean game, very positive attacking style, particularly Colo-Colo early. And Savicevic's dismissal now has changed the whole complexion, because not only 10 against 11, but he was having such a fine game. Probably the pick of Red Star's players. He
was having a good game, wasn't he, Rale? And it looked as though your predictions were coming true. They might still come true, of course. It's not as easy these days to win against 10 men.
I think that Yugoslav footballers are used to this because they get sent off quite often. So
is that right?
Second 45 minutes may not make so much difference. Probably they may not have so much possession, but they may get very nasty, and still the game is sort of even. But it's a shame, really. It's a great game and very open. Both teams very attractive and a lot of action on both ends and so on. Really shame to.
It's a good game. It's a good game.
Such a great footballer, you know, to be sent off. But
yeah, it will rob the game of something. Absolutely. Certainly. But Raul, coach of Colo-Colo, I'm going to put you in his shoes. What do you do now with the opposition down to 10 men?
Well, I think you have to push people forward, and you can play against man-to-man all over the park and keep your sweeper. It means I think he should really go for broke now. it is no other reason to sit back and wait.
Are the resources there for Colo-Colo today to win this match still?
Well, Dabrowski is on the bench. Is a great player in the air. Maybe not great technique on the ground. But I think that Colo-Colo should really just push people forward much more. I think the first 20 minutes I was very impressed, but obviously Red Star started to measure them a little bit, and I was very pleased with Red Star performance too.
Okay, well, let's have a look at some of the highlights of the first half. And as Raul said, it was an impressive first 20 minutes from the Chileans.
And this time could be the same, because Red Star is a team which is basing this match on that pattern of play. As Raul said, if I'm Jugović, I would attack. That would be probably the most dangerous point. If you attack, you get punished.
But we have the classic situation. We saw it in the World Cup. We see it at club football. A team down to 10 can outplay 11. And in a tactical sense, and I'm interested for Rale and Raul what they would do, but it seems that the first move is to put someone on their sweeper or libero to eliminate that cover at the back. And a lot of teams don't do that. They tend to just go on playing, and hence the advantage of having the extra player is annulled.
Yeah, but at the same time, it creates a completely loose forward line from the opposing point of view. So defenders who are not used to play zonal defense cannot adjust themselves. Suddenly you have no one to mark, and could be very dangerous. I wouldn't be surprised if Panchev is replaced into second half, because so far he hasn't done anything, and Red Star could not afford him to wait.
The luxury of it. So what you're saying, that if you were Popovic, you would just try to hold on to this 1-0. I mean, with 10 men, you haven't got much of a hope.
I don't think that he has any other choice, really, because this is excellent opposition, playing good football, clean football. You can't criticize, you can only applaud. But what I'm saying, that if Colo-Colo decides to commit itself, they could be very much punished even with 10 men.
Oh, of course, and it has happened before, Raul. I mean, you said that obviously mathematically what you do from Colo-Colo's point of view is to man-for-man mark, put a man on the sweeper, as Johnny said, and you've got an extra bit of space. But so what do you do? How do you defend a 1-0 lead from Red Star's point of view with 10 men?
Well, I think it will be very risky to very early in the second half to sit back and wait for things to happen. I think the Red Star will play cleverly. They're very intelligent players on the ball. They can rely, they can play possession ever so well. Because I think they will apply their own pace. They will slow down as much as they can, but not forgotten to go forward. I think it will be very much a mistake to sit back. Obviously, when it's 10-15 minutes to go, they might do so. But too early in the game, I think you will invite Colo-Colo to come at you, and I don't think that will be an intelligent thing to do.
John, I thought that Colo-Colo was a little bit short of ideas. That they looked beautiful in the midfield going forward. Once they got to that pack of defenders, they were a little bit too naive almost too enthusiastic to get through without any great deal of it. Now, is this going to cause them a problem, because there's going to be an even more packed Red Star defence now?
It's important that they play it wide and play it well. Take the sweeper out or the libero out of the game by someone being on him. I doubt whether they will do that. And then also to play it wide. The wider the better. With the overlapping, particularly on the right, you have Batichotto, I should say, and Mendoza. That's been where most of their attacks have come in the right, and successful ones. But wide, take the sweeper out and play wide, open them up.
Would you start the second half with a substitute already?
From Red Star point of view?
Yes.
I don't think so that Popovic would change anything, because he doesn't know at this point of time how the team is going to perform. But I would say when you are with 10 men, it's logical that into probably 15 to 20 minutes of the second half, that he would look for a change to replace one or even two players to bring fresh
strikers.
Men. Of course.
So you wouldn't start by changing Panchev straight away?
I don't think so that he has any reason to do it, because Panchev doesn't touch many balls in Yugoslav Championship, doesn't touch many balls in for Yugoslav national team, and he is so prolific goal scorer.
But he does rely on the service of Savicevic, doesn't he?
Sure, but you see, we are talking about Savicevic so much, but no one hears so much about Jugović, and Jugović at the present time is regarded probably second Prosinečki, or even more potential. So Yugoslav football has gift, and without any doubt they can always surprise you. If you notice, right fullback Radinović was on the right wing most of the game. So with players of this caliber, you cannot predict really what they really can do.
Well, it's going to be pretty hard to predict this one. Who are the players that are impressing you in Colo-Colo's side who really should, because this sort of situation with you having a numerical advantage does require a couple of players of responsibility who are going to take this game?
I was impressed in the first half with Pizarro and Bartichotto in midfield, but I think there's something missing in the forward line of Colo-Colo. I think Pato Yañez is playing not in a position which is familiar to him. He seems to be more as a central striker. I think he's a wide player. And
further to those words from Jerry Harrison, the other news this morning concerning the troubles that Red Star Belgrade might be going through and Yugoslav football in general is that FIFA has decided that Yugoslavia will not be able to play any of their World Cup qualifiers at home, at least so long as the troubles continue in Yugoslavia. But John, Raul and Rale, it's just, well, from Colo-Colo's point of view, I suppose it's just as well Red Star didn't have two players sent off because the numerical advantage didn't really turn out to be in their favour.
Well, another case, Les, another classic case, and I really blame the tactics of Colo-Colo in the second half. Amazing that a team with a coach of such standing can play so poorly tactically, but I think that's taking a lot away from Red Star and from Rale in that, you know, in the second half they played as though they had the 11 men, didn't they? Excellent performance in the second half, and not an argument about the result, the manner in which it was achieved, but disappointment from Colo-Colo's end. Apart from the first 20 minutes, they were not in the game.
Rale, we sit here red-faced and humbled by your expertise. You were the one who picked Red Star, but you were worried at half-time about the numerical advantage that Colo-Colo were having. So what went wrong from your point of view?
First of all, I want apologies from the table because over here was 3-1 before the game.
You've got him.
Yep. As I pointed out, half-time was a matter of really psychological build-up with Red Star, and you know, as I said, back to Vienna again, showed the character in the circumstance that they are. And Red Star, no doubt, really outplayed Colo-Colo in every department. And I think they were magnificent. There is no other word. And never in 45 minutes of the second half they look inferior in any department.
Well, but that's fine from Red Star's point of view. But Colo-Colo did have the advantage.
That's not my problem. That's problem of others.
Raul, was it your problem? I mean, what Colo-Colo must have done something wrong to screw this up in the second half.
Well, I think I was disappointed because I felt myself that 1-0 down in a final of such a prestigious cup. Really, it's nothing to lose, and when you play maybe a little bit negative as they didn't push forward as much as I thought they should. Still, they lost the game 3-0, which means that if you did so and you lost the match, well, sometimes this is the price you pay, but they didn't commit themselves and the game still was lost 3-0. But saying that, I think full credit to Red Star. It was an incredible performance, and they really showed class all over the place.
Well, I have to say, I have to acknowledge in front of all you gentlemen that I was very pleasantly surprised by Red Star, and it was nothing like the European Cup final. It's amazing how they keep churning out the players too, Rale, with Jugović winning the Man of the Match award, and deservedly.
Yes, as we pointed out before, -5 players from Bari plus Lukic with broken leg. It's too many changes over such a short period of time. I don't think so that many teams in the world could recover and win the World Cup without 6 of their best players.
Yeah, they did very, very well.
So they must be, as I said, it's a fabulous club, it's a magnificent football nursery, and whatever they get, they deserve. It's a fabulous club.
Now, of course, we've heard the statistic is very old and presented it down the years that how the South American clubs have dominated this particular fixture in the last 30 years, but not recently. The tide is turning. This has been the 5th European victory now in the last 7 years. It was their 5th victory in the last 12 years since it was being held in Tokyo. So, Raul, I think the fortunes of South American club teams, certainly against European club teams, is turning, and not for the better.
Well, we are very kind people, and we won it so many times that we felt it was time to give it to Europe a little bit.
What, five?
But that's the funny part. But I think yes, it is a change. In the past, South American teams have been always very successful, and as you said, the last 5 went to European clubs. Obviously, you have to maybe congratulate the European nations for doing so. But I think South American football, they're losing too many players too. And they never seem to be able to keep the good players at home. As soon as one appear, they must leave very quickly the country. But as Rale said, that's in case of Red Star too. But it is a change, and we have to accept that Europeans are doing better.
Well, the transition, we commented last year on Olympia, and now this year on Colo-Colo, that the classic South American skills with a more aggressive, more direct European style of tactics. Do you think there's a transition in perhaps doing that? Because we've seen two excellent finals, but the South Americans have lost.
Very briefly, Raul, if we could, we're almost
3-0.
out of time. I'm sorry. Very briefly, Raul.
Yes, I think it is. I think especially in countries like Chile or Paraguay, but Paraguay was coached by a South American coach. I think that to be truthful, I think that Red Star was very deserved winner, and they really show a magnificent football today.
Okay, well, thank you, Raul, for your contribution today. John, the same. We'll see you in the morning, bright and early, and congratulations again, Rale, and thank you for joining us today. And that's the Toyota Cup for this year. If you want to see the action again, edited highlights on World Soccer next Saturday, and don't forget the live World Cup draw in the early hours of tomorrow morning with a replay at 9:30 tomorrow evening. Also tomorrow afternoon at 5:30, another Coca-Cola NSL match of the day. Till then, goodbye.
You will